Welcome to the Relationship and Wellness Podcast with Nicola. Nicola runs transformational breakthrough programs for individuals and couples and has several award-winning audio programs. For details, visit www.nicolabeer.com today. Please note, places are limited and are available on first-come, first-served basis.
Hi and welcome. This is Nicola Beer, and I'm going to be sharing today the two main ways low self-esteem presents itself in relationships and how to spot whether you have low self-esteem and what is the first step to changing it. I'm going to be sharing that with you as well as highlight the lies that we are told about how to fix low self-esteem, which cause so much harm rather than good. Self-esteem is at the heart of living a happy, fulfilled life. When babies are born, they love themselves fully. They don't care whether it's 3 a.m. in the morning, they wake you up for what they need. And this carries on for toddlers too. We are born believing we are worth loving and have the confidence to ask for what we want. Then, somewhere along the line, we can pick up fears, beliefs, limitations, worries and judgments from adults that belong to those adults and take them on, which often leads us to questioning our own self-worth. Low self-esteem can manifest in two main ways in adult relationships. Some become needy, constantly needing attention, reassurance, to be told they're loved, wanted. They need this to feel significant. The problem is, whatever love and attention that is given, it will never be enough to drown out their own negative voice, telling them that they are not loved enough, that they're not good enough. Some people criticize their looks, their social skills, their intelligence. They often find themselves in controlling relationships and have such a deep fear of being left that they cling to their partner and want to do everything with their partner and fear their partner may cheat or leave them. They also may cheat because they seek attention, even if it's unhealthy and damages the relationship. They may put up with abusive language or neglect in a relationship because they don't value themselves, or be controlling in relationships to gain more love and attention. They often have no healthy boundaries in relationships. They are too vulnerable and expect their partner to fix all of their emotional needs and feelings of inadequacy or their insecurities. They often invade their partner's personal space by getting too close, always being around and available, always wanting to know where their partner is, checking their phone, asking for reassurance regularly that they are liked, loved, wanted. Rather than to look to fix themselves and change this behaviour, they want their partner to fix it for them. This neediness and insecure energy drives the partner away in the end. As people in a relationship like this often share with me that they feel suffocated, like they can't breathe. Their partner asks for attention, affection, that needs to be met all the time without respecting a wish for space. The other way low self-esteem manifests in relationships is where an adult becomes needless, as they don't let people do anything for them. They are super self-sufficient. Emotionally, they are closed, often because they don't trust people to be there for them, or they don't want to burden anyone, so they keep their problems to themselves and struggle alone, and often speak harshly to themselves for being upset or less productive in times of stress. This then worsens the low self-esteem because they already feel bad about themselves, and then they beat themselves up. A needless adult in a romantic relationship, as well as in friendships, may be difficult to know, difficult to be intimate with, as they don't open up. For that reason, the conversations may lack depth, and in arguments they shut down or get angry with no emotional sharing. Often they have learnt to bury their feelings from a young age. Sometimes they've been hurt by later events in life and have made a decision. I can't trust anyone. I will never be that loving or vulnerable again. The only person that I can rely on is me. They will never let their guard down because they've been hurt and the walls are up. Or they have a strong belief that no one will ever be there for them, Maybe that's because no one has been there for them. And so what's the point to even think of it, let alone ask for help? They also don't like to ask for help from their friends. They don't want to bother anyone. They don't believe they are worth others' time and attention. So they often isolate, especially when they're feeling low. They just isolate, and this deepens the loneliness and the emptiness. They also may confuse love with pity and fall in love with people that need help, that need rescuing. In the Breakthrough program, I help individuals clear these beliefs and emotional wounds so they can truly feel great about themselves and have more intimate emotional connections with their partners and loved ones. If that partner, of course, is safe for them to be vulnerable with, which is definitely something we would check. In addition to the Breakthrough program, with everything that's going on in the world at the moment, I fully respect that not everyone has a budget for a personal transformation package. So I've made working through the deep core issues available on a session-by-session basis. In these sessions, we work deeply in a holistic way on clearing one deep, limiting issue per session. I've decided to do this for people who need some support where the packages are not available to them at the moment. You can contact me through my website and ask any questions on email or WhatsApp if you like. The reason I'm so motivated to help people with low self-esteem is because it's behind many mental and physical health problems. Many people think, well, I can't have low self-esteem because I'm confident at work, or I'm confident about my body, or I'm confident in my looks, or I'm confident at public speaking, or I'm confident in social situations. But actually, low self-esteem isn't about being confident. Of course, it's good to be confident, but being confident in one or two areas doesn't mean you have high self-esteem. High self-esteem is to do with 1, how you speak to yourself, 2, what you think about yourself and where you are in life, and 3, how you actually look after yourself. If you're struggling in your relationship with rejection, sensitivity, insecurity, patterns of self-sabotage, caretaking for everyone but yourself, and lack emotional intimacy, it will benefit you no end to focus on raising your self-esteem and doing what you can to boost your partners. I really want to help people with low self-esteem. Believe me, it's my mission, as it was behind my 25-year eating disorders, falling for narcissistic romantic partners, which I will be creating a podcast on coming up soon, attracting bossy friends when I was a child that used to control what I did and tell me what to do. It also is behind being crushed by rejection, not having a normal reaction, but letting it floor me to tears for days. And also the years of torture that I put myself through, criticising and judging myself. I could give you some generic actions for building self-esteem, the kind that you would find on Instagram, Facebook, or in a magazine. Suggestions like start physical activity, be in nature, try something new, think of your strengths, spruce up your wardrobe or get your hair done, treat yourself, pamper yourself. You get the picture. These are blatant lies. They will not help self-esteem. Yes, such activities may make you feel good for a short period of time, but if you've grown up believing that you are not good enough or lovable, nothing you purchase is going to change that. Nothing you do on the outside is going to change how you feel on the inside. A change in a physical appearance, yeah, great, until a few days later and you're used to it and you're back to feeling low again. I've been there and done that 100 times. And I've also helped thousands of other people who have also tried the same to create new changes where they focus on the internal world to feel better. The problem with this message that we get in our society is that it lowers people's self-esteem. It becomes more harmful because often a lot of people will say, well, I'm unfixable. There's something wrong with me because I'm doing this and I'm doing that and I still feel horrible. I still feel really low. I still feel really anxious. I still feel some days that life doesn't seem like it's worth living. I am still miserable and fed up. And yet it's because they're sold a lie. They're sold that buy this, change this, do this, you'll feel happy. And the only way to really feel happy is to really love yourself, be your own best friend, speak kindly to yourself, look after yourself. And looking after yourself is definitely more than going to the salon. Some people, of course, use drugs and alcohol or cheating to get self-esteem, which is only going to make them again feel worse about themselves, where they believe, I'm inherently no good, there's something wrong with me, and often it can lead to the lowest form of self-esteem, where people feel useless, worthless, inadequate. So in this podcast, I'm going to share what high and low self-esteem looks like, because awareness is the first step to change and needed for change to happen. So it's so important to be honest with yourself. In the next podcast, I will share where to start with your own personal journey and where to look for some resources, or where to start with a therapist if you decide that you would like to work with a therapist, because knowing where to start and what to clear is also key. So let's look at what healthy self-esteem looks like and what low self-esteem looks like. Just like anything in life, if we want to improve something, change something, we need to acknowledge where we are and where we would like to get to, the end goal. In helping people with self-esteem, I ask them to accept and acknowledge where they are on the scale of 1 to 10 that I created, so I can best support them to create changes in their daily life. So 9 to 10, high self-esteem. 9 to 10, high self-esteem is where you overall are satisfied with yourself. You hold yourself with high regard. You like yourself. You think positively about yourself and are at peace with yourself. You look after your health and well-being. You recognise that you are not perfect, and that is okay with you. If you make mistakes, you move on and don't dwell on them. You don't entertain any self-criticism on things you can't control or past events that have been and gone. You look after your own needs and are able to say no to others when you want to. You are able to assert yourself and feel secure in your relationships. Then there's medium to high self-esteem, the 7 to 8 range. This is where you see yourself as equal to others, a person of worth. You're content with yourself. You're proud of some things you've achieved and not happy with other areas, but you don't beat yourself up. You are self-accepting. You look after your mind, body and emotional needs consistently. You set realistic expectations for yourself and life. You can take criticism without defensiveness or self-attacking. Then the 4 to 6 range, low self-esteem. Often this range includes comparing yourself in one or more areas to be inadequate to other people, where you see others as better than you and you remind yourself of this, be it that they are smarter, richer or in better shape, better social skills, more attractive, made better choices, have a better relationship, behaved better than you at social gatherings, better behaved children, achieve more, have more, etc., etc. So this isn't about just thinking, oh wow, that person's lucky they have that car, or oh wow, that person's done so well, I wish I had a career that I loved and was successful like them. That kind of comment, thought is normal and natural. But this is where you're constantly thinking about different people and how they're better than you. And then you tell yourself, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that. Or you say, look, they're so much better than me at talking. They're so much better than me at this. They're so much richer than me. They're so much smarter than me. And you remind yourself of it, and it's going to bring you into a low energy negative state. And if you don't compare yourself with others, you nag yourself. You should yourself. Where you say, oh, I shouldn't be drinking. I shouldn't be eating this. I should be better. I should be further ahead right now. I should call my mum. I should do this. I should do that. You often don't take action, and this then leads you to criticise yourself and feel low about yourself even more. The negative self-talk and lack of action makes you feel like you're stuck in a cycle, which can lead to lower levels on the scale of self-esteem. It can also lead to escape crutches, to not feel, to numb yourself. 2 to 3, low self-esteem, is where you feel less than in a number of areas. You see yourself as lacking or failing. You have adopted identity beliefs like, I am weak, I am stupid, I am fat, I am unattractive, I am bad at this, I'm bad at that, I'm negative, I'm lost, I'm crazy, I'm trapped, I'm no good, the list goes on. And when you look in the mirror, you probably notice things that you don't like and struggle to see any good points. You may even feel in a relationship, why are they with me? I don't understand why they're with me. I don't understand what they see in me. You may find it hard to assert yourself, to ask for what you need. You may do everything to please your partner and very little to please yourself. And then there is one, the lowest self-esteem. And this is where you feel worthless, useless. When people have this, they often feel undeserving of love and attention. They feel hopeless and insignificant. And it's often linked to depression and anxiety, the lower two levels, 1 to 3. Because the negative thoughts have become so much that it's completely altered someone's mood, changed their neural pathways in their brain, and with the anxiety and the depression, they feel worse about themselves. Sometimes the people beat themselves up. Why am I so unhappy when I shouldn't be? And people in this sometimes also feel guilty when good things happen to them. They feel guilty when their partner goes out of their way to make them happy. They find it hard to accept compliments, gestures of kindness, love and care. They may block it even. And that's why it's so key to ask yourself, could low self-esteem be behind any relationship issues? Remember that self-esteem is about how you speak to yourself, what you think about yourself, how you look after yourself. So focus as best you can on these 3 areas. And if you're in the relationship Facebook group, do join. If you're not, and if you're in there, share what actions have worked for you to build your self-esteem so that we can all learn some real tips that have helped in a relationship building self-esteem. Also, another thing you can do, which I personally found very helpful in working on these 3 areas, was to ask myself, who says this? When you criticize yourself, say, whose voice is this? Who says this? Is this my voice? Is this someone else's voice? Who am I when I'm saying this? And when I ask myself that question, who am I when I'm telling myself that I'm stupid, that I need to be more productive, that I don't look good enough? And I thought, I'm being my mum. I've taken on my mother's voice. I heard her criticise out loud and moan about herself. She often told me that I was wrong, that I was bad, that I made her life hell, that I was messy, that I was lazy, that I was ugly, that I was stupid. And I basically internalised that and said the same things to myself all the way through up until my late 20s, until I had a breakthrough session done on me that completely changed how I talk to myself. I do find, though, that self-esteem is an ongoing journey. It's always something that you need to pay attention to. Pay attention to how you speak to yourself, what you think about yourself, and how you look after yourself. And what about your actions? In my early 20s, I was also very tight with myself. I'd be very cheap when spending money on myself. Again, a pattern of my mother's. We didn't have any money though, and bless my mum, she was raising 4 of us, only 2 years apart. So we were like 0, 2, 4 and 6. And can you imagine? No money and raising 4 children at those ages. I don't know how she did it. So no wonder that and she also had mental illness. So I fully have forgiven my mum and have a great relationship with her now, which is amazing. But these things still affect us. They can still really hurt. And I didn't think I was worth good quality food products. Thankfully, through working on myself, I've cleared all of those things. So in your actions, are you generous with yourself? Are you loving with yourself? Are you responsible with yourself? Because some people are the other way with money. where it comes to the end of the month and they're stressing and they've got these credit cards and got these debts, and that's not being nice to yourself, is it? That's not being loving to yourself. That's putting yourself through undue stress. So loving yourself is looking after your mental health, looking after your physical health through actions. And also asserting yourself, saying, you know what, I'm going to say no, actually, because if I say yes to that, I'm going to be really tired and it's going to drain my energy, and then I'm not going to be good for this, and I need to do this. You know, are you putting your needs first? So are your actions yours, or are they copied or passed down? In the next podcast, I'm going to address the different reasons low self-esteem can arise and why it's important to know where it comes from for your journey to living a happy, calm, fulfilling life. If you would like to learn more about one-to-one support with low self-esteem, then do reach out to me. My contact details are on my website, and so are the prices for one-to-one sessions and the Breakthrough Programme. If you have found this insightful, please do share it with someone you know that might benefit from that feeling of inner love. And if it has triggered you in any way, please go to my website and get my free confidence meditation. It's full of loving words that will boost your energy and enhance your positive self-talk. From my heart to yours, thank you so much for listening. And as I mentioned, the next podcast is going to be looking at the different reasons why low self-esteem can arise, and also some tips for helping your partner build low self-esteem as well. Take care. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Relationship and Wellness Podcast with Nicola Beer. Check out the award-winning audio programs. Visit www.nicolabeer.com today.